We are going to be now talking about National Safe Boating Week and why it's important to stay safe out there on the water. I want to introduce Peg Phillips, the Executive Director of the National Safe Boating Council. Peg, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you talk about the importance of National Safe Boating Week and why you host it?
Hey, thanks so much for having us on. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to some recreational boaters out there. National Safe Boating Week, we're kicking off that beginning of our summer boating season and just offering some easy tips to keep yourself safe out on the water. Reminders to wear that life jacket all the time, every member of the family. It's the easiest way to make sure you have a safe day boating. Wear that engine cutoff device. We have a new federal law now. And make sure you've got multiple communication devices and be sure to check that weather.
Absolutely. Yeah, Memorial Day is fast approaching, a big time of the year when a lot of folks start to hit the water for the first time. What are some of the ways that weather can significantly impact boating plans?
Yeah, so I've spent most of my boating life living in coastal areas in Georgia and Florida, and I can tell you that the weather can change so quickly, right? Check that weather app, everything looks good. Almost everybody that I know has a smartphone. The thing to remember is that smartphone's not always going to work, right? We're not always going to be able to get a signal with that, or if it gets wet, that could ruin it if you end up in the water, for example, or your phone ends up in the water. So always want to make sure that you have another device besides just your cell phone, and continually, like I said, continually check that weather while you're on the water, and just kind of look at the sky as well, because sometimes the app will still say that you're all clear, but you can look up and see that storm cloud headed your way.
And are there any other environmental stressors that boaters should be checking before they head out on the water, before maybe they make plans to head to the water?
Yeah, sure. Even after a rain event, we're in those coastal areas after a tropical storm event. Sometimes we get the people who like to have a little extra adrenaline. Those flood waters are going into our rivers and canals, so you can have a little bit more current than we normally are used to as boaters. Also, could be some debris in the water, right? Everything's going to flood into the waterways, so it could be some branches, limbs, or some foreign objects. I've seen crazy things like electric boxes in the river, tires, things like that. So it can be all kind of hazards out there. Just make sure that you are boating in conditions that your skill level is prepared for.
That's some good advice. And then with hurricane season approaching, we know we cover it here on WeatherNation all the time. What are some of the things that boaters need to keep in mind with specific threats from tropical impacts? Monitoring their boat, maybe whether they should lift it, maybe they should take it away from the coastal areas.
Yeah, certainly safety of the boater and human being is paramount. But we also want to protect our equipment. So, if you've got a dry storage area and can get your boat away from the waterway, away from tall trees, probably a good idea. Paddlecraft, you want to make sure it's very secure, either in a rack that's tied up with some rope, or put it in your garage, something like that. But yeah, we definitely want to maintain and protect our equipment during any kind of weather situations.
Okay, and any other safety tips you have for boaters to keep in mind before heading out this summer or during the warmer months? Some essentials to keep with them. I know you already mentioned a life jacket. Is there anything else that folks really should have on them all times?
Yeah, great that you mentioned these warmer months. Sometimes that's a reason people don't wear a life jacket, especially in our southern states. They think it's too hot. But the manufacturers have really got some new technology out there. The inflatable life jackets, for example, you'll put that on and forget you even have it on. It's so comfortable even in warm climates. The other thing to think about is it is hot and we all want to stay hydrated, but let's stay hydrated with non-alcoholic beverages. Boating under the influence is something we don't want to get involved with, and alcohol certainly has a worse effect on boaters than it does on somebody who's drinking on dry land that's solid under their feet. So getting out in the heat, that direct sun, and then on an object that is moving makes alcohol more intense.
All right, thank you so much, Peg. We really appreciate your time and joining us for National Safe Boating Week, and hopefully everyone stays safe this summer.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
Happy boating.